right. We're going to introduce project one here. And here we are in assignment one. You're going to make a type, word mark, or monogram. You're going to create an enduring visual identity that fully reflects the values and aspirations of the company you're creating an identity for. Part one is we're going to choose a company from the list I've created below. So we're going to choose a one-word company, and the company's information is it's going to either be a job search company, which is Insight, Crave, which is a snack company, Smith is a furniture company, EverVet is an emergency veterinary clinic, and Privy is a fashion boutique. So these are the five you can think about and start kind of thinking about which one you want to choose. You get to choose one of the five. No, you cannot choose anything off this list. It has to be one of these, and these are all made up. Now, there may be a company out there with this in the world. That's irrelevant. We are considering these as startups, that there is nothing like it in our market. So if you do find an existing company with one of these names, it's okay, but we're not necessarily focusing on that company. We're making our own company. So we're going to use the Mural COD Classroom template, GD3 branding template for your process, and complete all instructions on the board. So part one is what we're going to focus on for this week, which will include the following. We're going to choose which company we're going to have, and then we're going to start figuring out like who our company is, and we're going to get to the unique opportunity to determine that for our company. We're going to think about like what the company is about. We're going to do an activity called brand sort, and we're going to then focus on company, creating a complete persona profile of 2 or more. Personas are our target audience, and we're going to learn about how to create an understanding of who our target audience is by creating a story profile of a conglomeration of many types of people in a specific demographic that would be wanting our product or service. We're going to look at a competitive analysis and creating a competitive analysis for companies that might be in the market that are competing against us. We're going to do a SWOT analysis, and we're going to walk through that on our board as well. We're going to then reframe our SWOT analysis into statements. We're going to create a value proposition, a focused messaging statement, a mission statement, and a vision statement. And lastly, we're going to create mood boards. And mood boards, at this point, I'm guessing many of you have done mood boards before. It's to kind of start taking all of this research we've done and recognizing, based on who our personas are, who we are as a company, what our values are, who we're after, what our mission is, that we can determine things like color palettes, typefaces, imagery, textures that are going to be relevant for as we move into the next phase. So we're going to complete phase one, part one of our mural process board, and we're going to present to class using our mural process board. I'm going to stop there. We're going to, do, like I said, each phase will be a week. So this is week one for us. So week one is the research. Week two, we're going to move into sketching and developing the ideas we have for our mark. And week three, we're going to finalize and refine and come up with our color palettes and applications. And then we're going to create a brand guidelines at the very end. So what we're going to do is I'm going to zoom over to some examples to show you what we're doing. So here is, last time I did a snack, the name of the snack company was Madi. And so Madi, this is the research phase for this student. Going through, now I had them do slides last time I did this, and I'm not going to do that this time. We're going to just stay with the process board. But here is basically the same things, is understanding the competitors analysis, looking at the competitors. They chose to do a yogurt. So they decided their snack food was going to be a yogurt. And they talked about who the audience is for. There's their personas, talking about like who they are and what they do. This is a SWOT analysis, which is your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We're going to go through this today, so you'll have a better understanding of it. And then they went into their key messages of what makes them different. How should we choose them over someone else? And then this is their brand guidelines book, which will be the final complete process, kind of all of the variations of the word. This example here is Room, and Room is a furnishing solution store. And this is their initial creative brief, which is, what does Room do? What makes Room different? Who is Room for? And where is Room? Here are their personas, thinking about the goals and motivations of their person, their fears and frustrations, their tasks and tactics, and their needs. Here's their SWOT analysis. And I'm going to come over here. Here's more personas. Here's their competitive analysis, mood boards. And then this is their final. Oh, I'm sorry, this is another. Wait, is this the same? Oh, yeah, this is. This is the final branding book for that research process. And then here's another one from Madi. And this is who they are, their goals, their mission, their phrases, their about us, their personas. They did 3. Their SWOT analysis of Madi. And then they also did a SWOT analysis of Cliff Bar, which is their main competition. Here is their brand guidelines of their final brand. Okay, so this is the project, and I'm going to stop sharing for a moment. And this is what we are going to be doing. So questions, any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm good. Like, you have to do research. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
think I'm gonna go with craved in this next category.
Good. Have you all, that's a good question. Have you all kind of gravitated to one of our choices?
Yeah.
Have you all got one picked out? Awesome. Awesome. That's what you want to do is you want to like first thing that comes to mind, like which one do we want to do? And as you saw, you can choose, to customize, like for example, your snack food can be any snack food. It can be nuts. The one you saw was nuts. The other one was yogurt. It can be any kind of snacking item. It could be chips. It could be anything. I had people do all different kinds. So you can be more, and same with your furniture store. It can be any kind of furniture that makes sense to what you want to focus on. So you can kind of identify it. So let's so once you've had your choice, we're gonna be jumping into our mural board in a little bit. Let's then go over to our back to our I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen once again, and we're gonna go back to our lecture and kind of continue down that process road because I've just kind of shared with you where we're going, and now it's like how do we get there? How do we figure this research out? How do we plan for this? How do we do it? So when we talk about branding, we want to talk about the 3 things. It's like a 3-legged stool: your do, say, and see. Elements need to be balanced, aligned with support to one another to build a strong brand that resonates with your target audience. Take any one leg away and the stool topples over. The red areas in this diagram highlight the danger zones when any one of these elements is missing or out of sync. So, an insincere business is when a company looks at the part and promises you the world, but then fails to deliver. So that means they've not done the do. A business that consistently or knowingly disappoints its customer is ultimately not honest or sustainable. One of the crazy examples of this was Fire, the Fire Fest, the biggest luxury music festival that never happened, right? Billy McFarland defrauded investors and festival goers for over 27 million using glamorous Instagram pictures of supermodels, yachts, and tales of luxury accommodations. He was later jailed for 6 years for being insincere and basically being fraudulent. But branding sold people on this idea. It was all branding. It was all smoke and mirrors. So it was very insincere. So the idea of making sure that you are who you say you are, because you can't build a reputation on what you are going to do. Quote by Henry Ford. So trust. Trust is one of the key reasons we brand. This goes beyond a logo and encompasses the whole product service concept, the do, say, see model, as well as the promise to deliver quality and predictability. The primary function of brands is to reduce our anxiety in making choices. The more we sense we know about a product, the less anxious we feel. How does branding work? Don't blend in. In its simplest form, the practice of branding is about creating differentiation, making one product or service seem different from a competitor's product. Brand values are often the core beliefs of philosophy that brand uphold and which differentiate it from its competitors. Another way of characterizing a brand is by identifying its brand personality. One way of identifying this is by doing a brand sort of characteristics together. We're going to do a brand sort using words chosen by social psychologists. So we're going to go into who we are. So right now, we're going to pause and I'm going to pull us out of this and we're going to open up our mural boards. So I'm going to open up my mural board. And so let's jump together. Everyone go over to your own mural board. You don't need to come to mine, go to yours. And we've all just chosen which we're going to do. So I'm going to come over here and we're going to decide what company are we going to choose. So go ahead here and plug in your company name of what you're
We
going to
don't
choose.
see it on your screen. We just see your background.
Oh, so sorry. Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
I got to move my screen sharing. Thank you. Boom. There. Now you've seen it. There we go. So come over to your brand process board. And underneath your name, where you added your name, put in whatever whatever you're going to do. Oh, I meant to say privy.
Do you have
I,
your
I
own
have a
name
question.
or our Adam name?
Your name, just your name up here. It can be your first name or your whole name. It's up to you. That's not a
Mhm.
problem.
I had a question about the like choices for our
Mhm.
for this project. You said that there was a list of them. Where would we find that list?
This is all on the assignment brief. So let me I'll put it up in front of you, but that's on the assignments, project one.
Oh,
Here they
okay.
are. Here they are though.
Is that something in
Blackboard.
Blackboard?
Yeah.
Okay.
So your
Where
assignments are always going to be in Blackboard and it's under assignment one and it's the project brief.
oh, okay, I found it. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so here's the choices: Insight, Crave, Smith, Evervet, and Privy. I'm seeing Okay. So you have your name. Okay, so you have your name, and then we're going to go over here to the next step, which is we're going to add, we're going to choose our company, which we've done, right? And then we're going to make a work plan. We're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to come over here to project part 1. Again, we're going to add our name here. I don't want to put an O there. I don't know. Kirby. And then you're going to go ahead and start with what do they do, right? And we just talked about like, how do we differentiate? What do they do? So let's start for a moment, and I put Post-its here. So you just have to double click on any of these yellow Post-its and type in, what do they do? So you can determine what they do. So for example, whichever one of these choices, and I'm going to pull that back up here, whether it's the Insight Job Search, the Crave Snacks, the Smith Furniture Company, the EverVet Emergency Veterinary Clinic, or Privy Fashion Boutique, you can choose, what kind of fashion. You can choose, what emergency vet clinic for what kind of animals. You can choose what kind of furniture, what kind of snacks, and what kind of jobs. So all of these have some flexibility, and you're going to determine that right now because it's going to be matter how we design for it. So we have to know exactly what it's for. So I'm going to have you all look at your boards and start filling out in this space what the market of the organization, what the niches. You're going to complete the grid below. You want to fill out each one of these, and you can add more. But at the very least, you want to do each one of these. In other words, what do they do? Give me 3 different things they do. What makes them different? 3 different things that makes them different. The intended platform, that means like, how are we going to see the logos? For example, is it going to be signage? It's going to be, social media, website. Is there going to be anything like audio? Like, are there going to be videos? Are there going to be like all the different ways we're going to hear about this brand and learn about this brand? Okay, we're going to determine all of that. Any questions? Go ahead and I can't.
Yeah, since
Yeah.
mine is Crave, and do I make multiple types of snacks like chips and granola balls, or can I have it be like just one type of snack?
Ideally, you're going to keep it pretty narrowly focused. So if it's granola bars, it can be different flavors of granola bars, but it's granola bars. So it's
Yeah, so you have to fill all 3 slots, and what do they do?
right. What do they do? So if it's granola bars, what sets them apart? You're going to be sitting on a shelf around all kinds of other granola bars. What makes your granola bars better and different than anyone else's? Do you use preservatives? Are you going to have it be sugar free, or are you going to add nuts, or are you going to, what are the things? Think about granola bars. What makes yours different than anyone else's?
All right. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with chips.
With what?
Chips instead.
Chips? Okay. Same thing. What makes your chips different? What makes them unique? How am I going to buy your chips over someone else's? Okay, Gabe, I see you have your hand up.
Yeah, I just had a quick question. Could
Yeah.
if we choose like the fashion boutique, can that
Mhm.
also include like shampoo and like hair products? Or is it like exclusively clothing?
I think it's probably clothing and like, do you want it to be shampoo and hair products? Is that what you want it to be? Or you want it to be clothing and hair products?
I was just thinking hair products. But if not, then I can
You could
just
make it hair products if it's just one thing. My point is I want it to be just one thing. So if you want it to be hair products, it can be fashion hair products.
okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Sure. Any other
So
questions?
I
These
just
are
have a
good ones.
question.
Yeah.
I have a question. I want to do the career search. Is it just about like a certain field, like medical, cooking? Like, does it have to be that?
Right. It could be any kind of career search, or it could be something like medical. It could be very niche. It's better if it's niche, it'll be easier. I'll tell you that right now. So if you want to make it about medical, like finding a job in the medical field, that would be easier than saying it's a job search for any and everything.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I might have missed something. What are we putting for the intended platform again?
That means how are we going to be hearing about this brand, right?
Okay.
So social media, website, is it a brick and mortar store? Is it packaging? Is it, whatever, however we're going to videos, TikTok, how are we hearing about it? Good. Any other questions? And when you're done in the chat here, do me a favor and put your name of your company you're going with, and that you're done with this part. Just this part here, the what market does the organization exist? What's the niche? Again, we want to keep it real focused, real niche. Like if it's fashion, like really identify, men's, women's, if it's like streetwear, or is it like, I don't know, high fashion, or if it's like a specific genre, like you want to be very, very specific. Same with the snack food, like very specific. Not all snacks, one kind of snack. Furniture, one kind of furniture. Keep it real niche. All right, perfect. Joe just put his in. Smith, mid-century modern home furnishing. So it's very niche. He's being very specific. What the company is, and then what specifically they're doing. Your niche is right here. So you see my screen. If everyone sees my screen, this is where you're putting it in. What do they do? What makes them different? That's creating the niche. So all of that goes here. What's the intended platform? Yep. So fill this out. You should have every post-it filled out, and you can add more. So if you don't have enough, you can add more. I mean, if you have more ideas, add more. The more you have, the better, the stronger, the easier this will be as we move forward. Okay, so what do they do? You have to have at least 3 things that they do. What makes them different than other things? At least 3 things. And then intended platform. Where are we going to learn about them? How are the different ways we're going to reach out to them? These are the ones: Insight, Crave, Smith, Evervet, and Privy. Good. I'm seeing a good mix of different ones. We have Crave from Shea, Kids Healthy Snacks, Gummies. Privy from Garrett, Sustainable Fashion. Is this for men or women or both? Make sure you indicate that on your board. Matthew, Insight job search application for those in the culinary field. So perfect. One specific field. Excellent. Like I said, as soon as you have it, go ahead and put it in the chat. All right. So we're going to do a brand sort. And the first step is moving the green cards that are below into following categories. We're going to start with who we are. How do you think your brand would currently be perceived? Now, this is a brand new company. So who we are is we're telling people who we are. So down here, you're going to see this whole big word list, giant. And these are all the different things we can think of ourselves. So you're going to take one. So for example, let's say you see yourself as welcoming. You're going to take it and drag it and put it right up here under the who we are. Okay. You can have as many as you like. There's no minimum or maximum. But you want to go through that list and really make sure you're grabbing the ones that are most relevant to you. And then once you've done the who we are, you think about you're a new company, you're going to grow. So who do you want to be as you grow as a company? Like what are your aspirations? What vision do you have of yourself as you move forward? Okay. And then at the very last, we're going to talk about who we're not. In other words, if we're expensive, then we're not cheap, right? So you want to think about those opposites of who you are and who you're not, because it's just as important to know who you're not as who you are when you're branding a company. So for the next, I'll put a timer on for 10 minutes. I mean, you can let me know where we're at that point. We're going to start doing our brand sort of who we are, who we'd like to be, and who we're not. Does anyone have any questions about this? Because we could, if we wanted, as a group, do one about a specific real company to help you understand and kind of get in the gist of it. But I feel like you guys have a pretty good handle. Let me know. What do you think? Are you feeling like you get what I'm saying, or do you have questions?
I have one question. For the who we are, I have a lot. I have like the whole thing filled up. Should I just be doing like 3, or can I use as many as I want?
You can use as many as you want. You can use as many
Okay.
as you want. But also think about like who you are right when you start your company, and maybe some of these things might be who you want to be as you grow. You know what I mean? So think
That makes
about
a lot
that
of
too.
sense. Yes.
You might not be all of those things right away. So you might divide that into those 2 categories.
Thank you. That I like that. That makes a whole lot of sense. No, I like that. I like it a lot.
Okay, perfect. Any other questions as you're going, just let me know if you have any questions. Also, if you have any questions about what some of these words mean, some of them are businessy words and you might not be as, comfortable with them. Some of them are kind of business words that might be a little confusing or not apparent. Okay. So we're going to look at now that we've done our brand sort and we finished our brand sort, we're going to move into human, kind of thinking about our who we're marketing to, our people. We're talking to people. And so people are human beings who are powered by emotion, not reason. The essential difference between emotion and reason is that emotion leads to action, while reason leads to conclusions. The vast majority of the population consumes and shops with their mind and their heart, or if you prefer, their emotions. They look for a rational reason. What is the product does, and why is it a superior choice? They also take on emotional decisions. I like it. I prefer it. I feel good about it. This way it works. The work is very subtle. Most of the time, before seeing something in detail, you have a sense of what it is. Before understanding, you feel. And many people feel good about branding, getting a positive emotion. The key is, this is what makes the difference. So you want to feel good about what you're doing and what you're buying and who you're buying about. So let's talk about emotions that we have and how we use them in our our decision-making process. So primary emotions, they're brief, intense, and they cannot be controlled. Emotional research Dylan Evans of King's College lists the following as primary emotions. Okay. Let's move on to secondary emotions. These are more complex. They combine the head with the heart. Love, guilt, shame, pride, envy, and jealousy. Which brings us right to emotion number one, the most fundamental of them all. Love. Love is a friendship caught on fire. Plato got it right. At the touch of love, everyone becomes a poet or a cynic. I'm no cynic. People love people. We love experiences. We love teams. We love events. We love abstract ideas like our country or our town or our cause. We love art and we love stuff. The objects we make, buy, or exchange. The objects that define who we are and where we stand. We are consumers of nature, by nature, I should say. For virtually all the world, citizens are possessions and our meaning and our lives. That's why we buy, exchange, give, treasure, and possess them. So how do we create a brand that is respected and loved? Well, perform. Respect grows out of performance with each and every interaction. Pursue innovation, continuous improvement for consumers. Commit to total commitment. Going the full distance is the price of respect. The consumer judges you at every encounter, touch point, and will punish failure by not coming back. How many times have we had a brand disappoint us and we're like, I'm done with them. I'm never going back to that place, right? They failed me. I am no longer in love with that car muffler company because my muffler fell off right after I left. Make it easy. If it's hard to use, it will die. You have to make it easy. People have no patience for things that are not easy. Don't hide. People can only respect you if they know who you are. You cannot be mysterious. You cannot be hidden behind something or other, and that will never get you where you need to be. And most importantly, you have to guard your reputation as a brand. Build over a lifetime. It's destroyed in an instant. Customers today are ruthless if you let them down, so don't. Tell the truth. Be upfront, be open, admit mistakes. Don't cover it up. It will get you every time. Believe in yourself. Your reputation is your premium defense. So do not, brands that lie, the consumers find out about it, it's over. It's over. True with people, true with brands. So here are the key takeaways I want you to think about as we move into this project. Brands are created in the mind of the consumer. Brands are what you do, say, and what people see. Trust is one of the key reasons we brand. Branding is about creating differentiation. We just made our list of differentiation. That's key in our branding process. Emotion leads to actions. We want people to fall in love with our brands because love is the reason. And that's it. All right, any questions?